AirVenture. It's opening day and a lot of excitement in a lot of places. One of them is right here at Skycraft. I want to put a little perspective on where you're at right now, Paul, and I'm Dan Johnson, by the way, talking to Paul Glavin from Skycraft. You do the marketing for the company.
That's right.
Excellent. So a year ago, we came and visited you at another location here, and you were saying you were going to go start the process of going through the ASTM standards, which are a lot of pages and a lot of detail.
That's right.
So a year ago you started. Less than a year later, you are wrapping it up.
We are.
What point are you at in the process right now, Paul?
Just last month, we declared compliance with ASTM regulations for light sport, and we have our FAA audit scheduled for next month. And so after we have our audit, then we'll be an officially certified light sport aircraft.
The process was challenging, was it? Did you have to do some things?
It was,
Did you have to make any changes to the airplane?
We did, yes. We made several improvements on the plane and
Give me a couple examples.
So, for instance, we were using mechanical brakes originally, and now we switched over to much more effective hydraulic brakes.
Okay.
We've also changed up our instrument panel a little bit. We were using MGL gauges as well as our 7-inch dynon display, but now we've got it all just gathered together right in that dynon, which makes it much more streamlined and easier to use.
Okay, cool. Are you sticking with the Herth engine?
We are going to stick with the Herth engine.
Okay, and this is describe the engine just so everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, so it's a 2-cylinder, 2-stroke, 50 horsepower engine that was, it's created in Germany. And it's one of the most high-tech and definitely reliable and durable 2-stroke engines on the market. It gets very impressive performance.
What kind of power?
50 horsepower.
50 horsepower, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, one of the things I love about the Skycraft is this is a single-seater. We don't have, I think we have one other single-seater that I can think of, and that's an aerobatic airplane for a specialty use, but almost everybody went 2 seats. What attracted you fellows to a single-seater?
Well, with the single seat, you can get a lot of benefits that you can't get with the 2-seater. With a smaller plane, you can use a smaller engine. With our 50-horse engine, we are getting great cruise performance, and then most impressively, our fuel burn. Just
now, you've
2
been doing some flying. You did a lot of flying that you got done with the flying part, and then you finished up the ASTM part. We had a couple of bits of news from you about that. In the flying part, what kind of numbers were you seeing? Talk to us about top speed, cruise speed, slow speed, those kind of numbers.
Yep, we were seeing top speed right around 130 miles an hour.
Really?
Cruise speed was around 118 miles an hour, and then maneuvering speed just under 100 miles an hour. So you can putt around in this 100 to 120 miles an hour without much problem.
Well, now that's a pretty amazing fact too, because most people are going to go, "Oh, 2-stroke, that's not very much power out of that." They don't know what they're talking about if they think that, because 2-strokes deliver a lot of power for the weight, especially.
Definitely.
But 50 horsepower on a single-seater, we're used to hearing 100 on everything, but those are much bigger airplanes. So those are some impressive numbers at 130 miles an hour. It's near the top of the category.
Definitely, yeah. And again, it's all because with a single seater, it's less weight. It's a 300-pound plane empty, and so that 50 horsepower gives us plenty of power to get the kind of performance that you see from a 172 or a more expensive light sport aircraft.
And well, we got to talk about price a little bit. Folks, these videos stay on YouTube a long time. Prices can change. Check with the factory. We'll get your address later on the web, but tell us the basic numbers about pricing.
We equip our plane very nicely for our base price of $55,000. And then the only optional features you have on top of that are a Mode S transponder, which is $3,000 additional, and then a ballistic parachute as well, which is $4,000.
So about the most you could spend maybe be $65,000 or something like that. So think about that, folks. We hear a lot of stuff about these airplanes are too expensive, and there are some wonderful choices loaded up with fancy features and autopilots and the rest. But you don't have to buy that. You can have a nice little airplane. This is well finished, well equipped, $55,000. That's today, 2014. These numbers change. So come back and ask for more information. We'll get to that later. What response have you had so far? Have you got many takers so far?
Oh yeah, we've had several deposits. People over the last year have been very interested in this plane. They've been following us for a while. And so once we have this certification with the FAA, we'll be able to deliver our first planes.
Okay, now I want to touch on that just for a minute, because it sounds like it's all brand new, just coming out. It's not actually the case. It's the case with the ASTM standards and the special light sport aircraft, but these are flying around Europe, in another certification basis, but for some time, right?
Correct.
How many are flying? Do you know?
There's a few dozen at least flying around the world right now.
Okay.
It's been around for maybe 5 or 6 years. It was designed in the Czech Republic.
Under the name SD planes, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So, and you're the American guys that are taking this over and making it work in this structure.
Mm-hmm.
Will you have opportunities outside the U.S. with this product?
We will. We are able to ship this internationally. The Czech designer, they also make ready to fly, so just as long as you're aware that you can get them from there.
They'd be a little different configuration, and they would not have met the ASTM standards.
They would not have, correct.
Right.
And
so
also
that's kind of a big deal for Australia, South Africa, places in Europe. China is coming. Other places are accepting these standards, so you're going to have a leg up on the original designer unless they choose to go to that.
That's right.
Considerable trouble of earning this.
And we do get interest from people internationally who are well aware of the fact that they're making ready to fly, but they just like our setup. We paint it really nicely. We equip it very nicely, so they just prefer our plane.
Where are you located with Skycraft?
We are 40 minutes south of Salt Lake City.
Okay.
We just purchased a new hangar at Provo Municipal Airport.
Ah, okay. So that's a change of location for you since we talked to you last year.
Mm-hmm. And that increases our size as well. We'll be able to make 100 planes a year in that new factory. So it's much more room for us.
Cool. Okay, so you're expecting your FAA visit here in a month or so. Hopefully that'll go well. They're bound to find something and you'll fix that and then you'll be ready to go. So you should be able to deliver perhaps by the end of the year or something like that. Is that what you're thinking, Paul?
Yep. That's right now we're expecting about 3 or 4 months of lead time between an order now and when
you got to order some parts in once you're ready to go, got your approvals and everything. So we hope that'll go well. We've answered a few questions that I think people might have asked you if they aren't here at AirVenture. Where can we get some more information on the web? We'll put it up on the screen, so just give us your web address.
Yeah, our website is skycraftairplanes.com.
Pretty simple. I've got more information about Skycraft. We'll continue to have more as they go along, and someday I'm flying this airplane, and we'll talk about that too. And you can find that and lots more about light aircraft of all kinds on buydanjohnson.com or bydanjohnson.com. Thanks for joining Paul and I here at AirVenture.